I didn't utter a word when they slapped that eviction notice in my hand. I simply pushed the 1918 water rights deed across the table and watched as 28 luxury homes transformed into waterfront ruins. The Riverbend Heights HOA believed they could snatch my grandfather's ranch while I was stationed in Iraq, turning it into their flawless gated community patrolled by entitled busybodies in SUVs. Let me tell you about Alex Thompson. That's me, 36 years old, a Marine Corps engineer, and the third-generation steward of 52 acres of prime California land just outside San Diego. My grandfather, who we all called Grandpa Earl, snapped up this property back in 1952 when San Diego was more about beaches and naval bases than tech hubs and traffic jams. Grandpa Earl was the type who cherished the earth and those who worked it. In 1975, he constructed a modest earthen dam on our land. Nothing elaborate, just solid design to capture rainwater for the livestock and aid downstream folks during parched seasons. The Marine Corps even lent a hand with the blueprints. Grandpa Earl always said the back 35 acres would one day be priceless, but for now, it was pristine hills where we grazed cattle, and I honed my shooting skills. Then came my stints in Iraq, where I honed expertise in water infrastructure and logistics. Managing irrigation in a combat zone hammers home how vital fresh water is and how fiercely people clash over it. During my second tour, Grandpa Earl passed on. The land fell into a trust overseen by my well-intentioned but out-of-touch sister Emily, who lives in New York and knows as much about California land law as I do about Broadway shows. She outsourced management to a local firm called Pacific Property Partners for taxes and maintenance. Payments went out like clockwork, but Emily never scrutinized the assessments, a costly oversight. Enter our antagonist, Patricia Hawthorne, 54, president of Riverbend Heights HOA, the sort of woman who cruises in a silver Mercedes GLE and wears yoga pants like power suits. Patricia has that honed blend of faux politeness Southern transplants master around midlife, the smile that hides a knife twist, all while framing it as charity. Married to City Councilman Victor Hawthorne, she wields influence like a sledgehammer. She's infamous for community enhancement drives, code for ousting anyone clashing with her vision of manicured bliss. The whiff of her designer scent barely covers the aura of vape smoke and superiority that trails her. I returned from deployment in June 2022, eager to reconnect with Grandpa Earl's legacy. I cruised down the familiar dirt path, past the ancient eucalyptus where I'd etched my name as a boy, anticipating open fields and the dam glinting under the California sun. Instead, I encountered bulldozers, asphalt mixers, and markers staking out my territory like a conquered zone. The grit under my boots felt hostile as I confronted the site. "Boss, sorry, pal," he shrugged, unapologetic. "We've got all the approvals. This is Riverbend Heights turf now." I summoned the cops. Deputy Ramirez arrived, awkwardly explaining the HOA's adverse possession grab during my absence. If land sits idle long enough and you improve it, you can claim it. An archaic rule meant to utilize vacant plots, now a weapon for expanders like HOAs. That's when Patricia rolled up in her electric cart like a suburban overlord. Her tone dripped honeyed venom. "Your kin neglected this place, dear. We're elevating it for everyone's benefit." What ignited my rage? Their crews had rerouted the creek feeding Grandpa Earl's dam. Levels plummeted daily, eroding decades of stewardship that had sustained neighbors through dry spells and deluges. As I eyed the dwindling reservoir, Patricia's taunt lingered. "You should have stuck around, Marine. This wasn't mere land theft, it was combat." I retained a lawyer pronto, bad call. He demanded $95,000 up front to contest the rezoning. Turns out, while I defended the nation, Victor rammed through a rush rezoning from farm preserve to upscale residential. But my Marine Corps savvy kicked in. While the attorney billed fruitlessly, I pored over county archives like scouting enemy terrain. I unearthed Grandpa Earl's 1975 dam permits, gold, built with federal input for flood control. It invoked national oversight no HOA could trump. Knowledge bomb. Federal-involved dams override local meddling, full stop. Adrenaline surged as I grasped the implications. This escalated to federal turf. Better yet, amid the stacks, I found a 1918 water rights deed from my great-grandpa, securing senior claims to the whole Oak Ridge Creek Basin, predating the city, county water. And those sprawling estates, they weren't just pilfering dirt, they were hijacking my water. Meanwhile, Patricia played martyr, convening an urgent HOA session on the hazardous dam. With a tipped-off news team in tow, I caught her on the broadcast, poised before her immaculate yard, fretting over kids' safety. "That structure's a ticking bomb," she sniffled, "with families." Right below. Local media loves drama but skimps on facts. A quick check would have shown the dam aced its latest inspection. Undeterred, Patricia ranted on the neighborhood app, warning of volatile disputes and erratic loners, subtly fingering me in our tight-knit area. The diesel fumes and pollen choked the air as I monitored their frantic builds from my porch, racing to cement claims before injunctions. Foundations multiplied nightly. The dam ebbed inch by inch. I rang my old Marine pal Marcus Hale, now EPA enforcement. A quick chat schooled me more than legal fees. If they're altering waterway sans permits, that's Clean Water Act breach. And with federal dam status. He trailed off meaningfully. I chronicled it all. Cameras on borders, timed shots of diversions. Flow data from creek points. Emily pleaded from New York to cash out and bail, but this transcended dollars. It was the trespass of boots on sacred soil, Patricia's stilettos echoing and rigged. Hearings, the stale courthouse brew fueling revelations of rot. Above all, it was the dam, Grandpa Earl's gift to the valley, now a vanity pool for invaders. In California, water rights predate even gold claims, tough to swipe if you fight smart. Watching mixers rumble past, I knew courtrooms wouldn't suffice. This called for engineering. Patricia ramped up, safety patrols of board members in. Branded T's staking my drive, snapping plates, logging suspicious vibes with the sheriff. Harassment rolled in. Noise gripes for my radio. Eyesore fines on my 1960s homestead. Bogus septic alerts. Post-recent pass. The gut punch. Victor leveraged his seat for a veteran wellness check, painting me as unstable. The caseworker was kind but probing, while Patricia oversaw from afar like a drill sergeant. Then the agency blitz. Inspectors, marshals, health, animal control swarming like regulators on steroids. Each nitpicked fixes costing fortunes. The inspector, Victor's poker mate, slapped $9,500 on porch repairs. I spotted the vice. Overwhelmed till surrender, like pressuring locals overseas. But I countered. Marcus perked at the missing wetlands eval for creek shifts. Fines from $60,000 daily. The curing concrete scent urged haste, but digs paid off. The site sat in a Corps-designated 100-year floodplain. Insurers balked till HOA faked mitigation, shunting floods my way. Nugget 2. Development flood lies can mean jail, not slaps. Deeper probes showed Patricia's prior Los Angeles HOA dinged $2.8 million EPA for similar tricks. She fled probes to San Diego for fresh marks. Patricia smeared my psyche and aggression via PI digs on my service, petitioning to condemn my spread as nuisance. Kids at risk, she told papers, from unhinged threats. But I rallied. Victims online, spotting patterns. 6 parcels gobbled in 3 years via pressure. Zoning flips benefiting Victor's firm. I teamed with neighbor Mrs. Lopez, her heritage orchard parched. Carlos Rivera, his legacy farm rezoned extinct. Not isolated, theft systematic. Machinery vibrations shook my floors daily. I metered stolen flow, 1,500 gallons daily, $52,000 yearly value. Sediment tests screamed eco-ruin. Then the eminent domain notice, seizure for safety, hearing in weeks. Patricia's quote, "Safeguarding the collective sometimes means tough calls." Storm clouds brewed, not just weather, but chance. Patricia went all in. Victor rushed domain hearing. Lowballed $210,000 on $920,000 land. Papers smeared me as vet stalls progress. Photoshopped my home derelict, me haggard. She staged mom-kid pics near my fence, faces fretful, my place ominous. Viral with hashtag Guard Our Youth. War scars threatening suburbs, she told news. Spot on one count. I brought back intel spotting and engineering clout. Marcus dropped bombs. EPA probed creek shifts from my tip. Patricia's LA fine shadowed her federally. HOA loans hinged on puffed values and secured water. Reversion would sink them. Irony tasted sweet. Patricia up to $450,000 cash, deadline tight. Then hit Emily with troubled sib sob. Backfired. Emily threatened. FBI. I linked with eco-lawyer Rebecca Vance, pro bono water whiz. We coalesced downstream ranchers hit by shifts. Carlos had 1892 creek docks. Mrs. Lopez 1930s garden snaps fed by the stream now. Spritzing Patricia's fountains. The Audubon chapter noted nest wipeouts for endangered birds. Wildlife kills plus theft draw fed heat quick. Night patrols revealed Grandpa Earl's dam had hydraulic floodgates dormant since 1979. Echoes and tests confirmed ops, designed for flow restore. I crunched vols. 3.2 million gallons needed. Dam at 3.5 post rains. Timing critical. Drone maps pegged homes. In old channels, 6 in flood paths, for with low basements. They're fake creek beds? Pretty but frail. My system? Core built for crises. Patricia's fatal error. Permanent barriers blocking the bed. Justifying my emergency release. Forecast called heavy October downpours. Ideal cover. Perusing records, I hit a 1975 covenant mandating natural flows for AG rights. Duty overriding HOA. Rebecca uncovered HOA insurance lies. No flood risk claimed. Diversion approved. Federal fraud. Nugget 3. Dev fraud hits criminal. Prison mandatory. Victor's firm invested heavy. No recusal on votes. Marcus flagged endangered perch die off. Report lost in Victor's desk. Banks loaned on temp. Diversion lies. Reversion triggered $14 million recall. Grandpa Earl's attic. Journals gutted me. 1977 entry on aiding Rivera Farm in drought. Neighbors help neighbors. Not profit, community. Analysis showed diversion risked upstream floods. Original bed controlled it. My release would demo sans peril. Timeline squeezed. Rains heaviest in 8 years. Waiting meant uncontrolled deluge. Acting controlled proof. At controls with journal, it clarified, not vengeance. Restoration. Patricia wrecked locals. Carlos lost Centennial Ranch. Mrs. Lopez's plot died, for families sold via schemes. Feds due next month. Released during visit sealed violations. Oil sent on gears affirmed durability. Grandpa Earl's build for now. Cloud signaled. Gates time. This was ops, not rashness. Legal, eco-backed, communal. Team. Rebecca legal, filing for Media Max. Marcus fed shield, witnessing demo. Carlos chronicled AG harm. Mrs. Lopez staged, lent gravitas. Rebecca's motion, emergency restore per covenant. Compliance, not breach. Nugget. AG rights trump. Residential with historic proof. Engineering. Plans for 5 a.m. start. Ramp over hours. Peak 9 a.m. vol tuned for demo sans damage save barriers. Safety. Signs up. Fire department alerted. Not flood. Controlled show. Rebecca tipped reporters. Carlos rallied witnesses. Narrative control. Restore versus terror. Intel. Mrs. Lopez gossip net. Diner kin on council leaks. Marine drone for docks. While upgrading hydraulics, Rebecca hit finances. Insurers fraud tips. Bank reviews. Whistleblower on conflicts. Timing. Rains 72 hours. Feds week same. Carlos AG agent for benefits. Storm of weather. Oversight, support. Prepped for Patricia escalations. Meetings, smears, orders. Evidence. Photos, vids, histories filed federally. Protocols. Fire cord. Notices bilingual. Evac plan demoed. Nugget. Multi-agency hits force folds. Servicing gears. All smooth. Grandpa Earl's legacy. Stocked for siege. Protective orders filed. Secure comms. At final check, alignment perfect. Rains 48 hours. Feds 36. Patricia Media hit 24. Dawn brings equity. Water home. Patricia's frenzy peaked with perimeter guards. Tactical posers thinking HOA wars real. Cameras nabbed sabotage. Glue and lines at 3 a.m. Marcus tipped sheriff. Arrests mid-act. Community protect, they claimed, with epoxy sacks. Patricia Morning TV. Pearls, quaver. Vets need therapy, not torrents threatening kids' abodes. Victor, expert, Failure risks, ignoring inspections. My recon logged all. Marcus, feds tapped Victor for graft probe, desperate. Legal, Dawn hearing via Victor's crony Judge Ellis, $18,000 donor. Rebecca pushed recusal, but rigged. If not legal stop, corrupt bench. Patrols encircled with signs, streaming terrorism. Carlos countered with 35 ranchers. Mrs. Lopez historical displays. Eco reps attended. Dueling stories. Vet assault versus rights reclaim. Sabotage up. Epoxy and channel, risking real flood. Night jackhammer clear, evidence bagged, attempted calamity. Victor declared hazard, ordering fire secure. Chief Lopez, honest, warned, 5 hours max, use M. Insurance freeze halted builds. Marcus bumped inspection 24 hours. Release during? Fed proof. Patricia's low, VA psych hold claim, suicidal. Worker at 4:30 a.m. Convinced amid prep, not standard mourn. Emily wept. Not what Grandpa Earl wanted. Journal steal. Flood to save stream. At 6:15 a.m., sun rising, feds observing, I eased gates to 30%. Sound glorious, waters homeward murmur. Oak Ridge Creek revived, natural course. Carlos cupped flow, weeping. Grandpa's lifeline, 70 years. Patricia raged at agents. Arrest the menace. Agent Lee, sir has rights to manage. Streaming hysteria, drowning dreams, war-tainted vet. But Flo stayed bedbound, no havoc. Choppers broadcast. Reporter quizzed farmers on restore as Patricia interrupted. Military assault. Confused. Water in old path. How attack? Narrative crumbled. Victor phoned Ellis, ranting values. Contributions, Rebec. A taped. Nugget, 1 consent recording. Engineering spot on. Flows matched history. Marcus noted, pre-diversion norm. Feds favor nature. Mrs. Lopez's orchard watered first in 20 months. Farms replenished. Diner folk brought treats. Dad ranched here. This right. Supporters drifted as no disaster. Insurance cease. Builds halted. Patricia, block it, trucks. Victor sent dumpers too. Spill. Agents arrested for Fed interference, felony. Success. Flows optimal. No residential harm. Banks held. Political. Councilman Garcia demanded Victor quit. Shame on city. Feds widened to RICO. Marcus, gun for prosecution. Sweet. Patricia's $2.8 million stake worthless sans water. Yell, ruined 28 lives. Calm retort, restored all, by rights fair. She fled, suits empty. Carlos kin with feasts, Mrs. Lopez T. Right. Community, not vendetta. Media flipped, eco triumph, from vet floods. Truth flows true. Court at 1 p.m. buzzed. Press, ranchers, HOA, feds crammed. Patricia lawyered heavy, suits and shrinks diagnosing revenge psychosis from clips. Water WMD, they thundered. I with Rebecca, hat on, authenticity armor. Sides split, signs left, resolve right. They claimed $3.1 million flood via mud picks. Rebecca, covenant duty shown. Agent Lee, restore sans damage, historical match. Nugget final, water docs beat dev, feds backing. Marcus, violations. Fraud, habitat loss. Ellis fidgeted as crimes aired. Victor on stand. Admitted rezoning, stake, tape outburst, setup, clean, conspiracy proven. Testimony power, Carlos generational loss. Voice cracking, community 45 years. Rebecca, LA fine echo, prosecutor announced interstate probe. Uproar, scope clear. Ellis denied orders, ruled legal/beneficial, warned obstruction. Agents hauled Victor. Warrants flew. Patricia dodged mics, sped off, likely packing. Cheers outside. Rebecca Rico presser. Carlos thanks. My words, right by land, people. Months later, flowed justice. Victor guilty. For years fed. Patricia $9.2 million penalties. Bankrupt. Firm $13 million fines. Banned feds. HOA folded. New eco-focused group. My land $1.4 million post-designation. $380,000 fraud payout bought. Carlos ranch back, debt-free. Restore boosts value over dev community win. Creek Eco Hub. Tours, paddling, birds, angling where homes planned. Mrs. Lopez demo garden. Farms bumper crops. Diner restoration HQ. Eco. Perch rebounded 5 months. 14 birds returned. Wildlife corridor status. Ops and core manual. Job well done. Personal. Renovated home green. Emily returned for Eco Tour Biz. Rebecca and I. Bonds from battles. Ripples. Statewide challenges. Fed guidelines cite us. I consult HOA fights. Calls nonstop. Grandpa Earl Scholarship. Carlos son first. Studying water at UCSD. 2. Guard basins. Annual Stream Fest. Food. Ed. Vets Aid. Funds Defense. Helped 7 communities. Kids splash where estates eyed. Free flow from Unity. Sundays. Grave with jar. Thanks. Grandpa Earl Stream sings. Legacy. Oak Ridge Trust owns rights. Eternal buffer. Patricia's LA hit RICO. 162 families sued similar. One fight sparked national justice. From porch, Creek True, reminds. Worth the stand. Flood to save? With allies, yes. Water for all, not cronies. But was the release too bold? Did justice overstep, or was it pure? Share your take. Was I hero or vigilante? Drop HOA horrors below. I read/reply. Subscribe for more triumphs over tyranny. Next, town swiped Pal's wind farm. She blacked out council gala. Power plays, lights out on graft. Streams endure. Folks, always.